The woman told me, you run your account so bad that we're not even going to give you a card. So I said, can I get a cash card? She goes, no.
Hi.
When you need money, you need to come into the branch and we'll let you know whether you can withdraw your money.
So I just dropped my app, www.ChisoLifts.com. Online personal training. You got custom meal plans, custom training plans. With the training plans, you got a video showing you how to do all your exercises. You could log in your sets, your reps, the weights you use, and literally every month I changed up your plan. In the description, you got a code BESTU20 at the moment. You can use that to get a 20% discount for life.
If I didn't have that, I might not be here today telling this story.
Okay, is it not fair to say though that we, all three of us in here, our parents taught us right from wrong? I'm assuming we knew that something was wrong to do.
Everyone.
And I'm saying the vast majority, there are some parents, because I've done mentoring for years and I've worked in pupil referral units. There are some children where when you see the parent, you understand why the child is like this.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I get why they say parents can be to blame, but I think it's unfair to automatically put the blame on them, because when you go to care homes and you work in the system, you see that a lot of these parents are trying, but it's some children, I know it's going to sound bad, and I don't know where it comes from.
Some children are just on
bad.
badness.
They're just bad.
And do you know what? I feel like, the
just
reason
bad.
I'm saying, I feel like I fell into that category.
Okay.
But they kind of forced me. Because even compared to my brothers, like I got in, it's not even close. The amount of trouble I got into in school is not
I'm
even
assuming you're
close.
the eldest boy.
Middle.
Middle. Oh, so you got older than you.
Yeah.
And would you say he was on the straight and narrow?
My brothers are doing phenomenally well.
Okay, so
we all got into a bit of trouble,
Okay,
but
so
like,
what is it? So people often use the word as role models as a lack, or the lack of role models as to why there's problems. And I'm saying you had two older brothers.
One older
brother who was technically, one would say on paper was a role model, on paper.
Yeah.
So maybe he went to the textbook way of things.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying uni is the way in life. I'm just saying the textbook ways, you
Route
go to
one.
college, you go to uni,
Yeah.
you start a grad job, and you finally work your way up in about 5-6 years. You're
I
on
think
80K.
it helped as well.
Yeah.
Seeing, because it was the youngest brother has to do the best. That's the way we were raised. We don't compete with each other. So it's like we're each other's guinea pig, right? And I think that helped as well as the parenting, maybe even more, right? Because your brothers, they see, they know your badness, and you know, either they snitch or they correct or whatever. And I feel like also just the fact that I was good academically, I've always been smart academically, helped, because I saw that I could get out this way. If I wasn't, I may have looked
I think this
away.
is a big issue that we don't talk about, is the schooling system, where I think when you can't retain information, because I always say that what school teaches you is how to regurgitate information.
Yeah.
And if you don't retain the information well, you're never going to pass in exams. So for instance, I was always good at coursework, but exams I was rubbish. Because
good at exams.
I can't retain information well.
I'm like that as well. I'm
So-
dyslexic.
Yeah. So for me, if I'm in the class, okay, I can do work really quickly because it's in front of me. I don't have to retain information. I can work. But the moment it's an exam, I fail. And the problem I found in school was that my attention span, even up to my age now, is appalling. So for instance, I start things. So for instance, I've got like 7 series I'm watching on Netflix and I've not finished them.
I'm the same.
No. My attention span, I'll watch something.
You see me, I go through one by one. So even though I want to start a next one, I say to myself, let me finish this first before I move on. Because before I used to do that. But like you said, how you struggle with coursework, how you struggle with exams. I struggle with coursework like that. Like school, I blitz through school. So I'm a person, I don't need to study. I could literally
Last minute.
Yeah, I could, like, if there's an exam now, I could literally, like, the night before read, on the way to the exam read, and I'll be like, yeah, I passed.
Yeah.
I could literally call it and say, I passed.
Now, is that a form of intelligence or not? Because
I think it's dyslexia.
what is intelligence?
Because for me, right?
I can't do coursework.
Okay, are you intelligent?
Yeah.
And why would you say you're intelligent? What is intelligence?
I'll talk about my brothers. So my eldest brother, he could be a lecturer. He could proper like teach. You see me, I'm very sharp, and I've always been very sharp, right? Picking things up really quickly and be able to deliver enough to pass, just to, right? My youngest brother is a hybrid. He can do it all.
Okay.
He can do it all, right? And we're all dyslexic. We've all been tested. We're all dyslexic, and I think dyslexia, I read about it. It probably helps me be a good trader as well. It helps you to just filter information. But my dyslexia got picked up late because I'd done English literature and I got like 99% in my GCSE. So you're not thinking
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's English, like. But if you notice, from when I was 4 years old, one thing continued from the age of 4 all the way to the age of 16. When I do written work, the amount of crossings out, so I'll clock that I've spelt because wrong and then correct it. And that's the intelligence, right? And I think the intelligence came from, I think naturally we're intelligent. Like from my state in Nigeria, Ekiti State, like we're known for being smart. But hearsay.
Is there intelligence in everybody that just needs to be nurtured,
Yes.
or would you say that? Because I think that where things are going wrong with
Education system.
with the education system, and I don't want to just blame one institution, but there are so many different factors as to why things are going wrong right now. But I think we've all been to school, and I think the home plays a part, but I think your schooling and how you're dealt with in school determines almost everything, in my opinion. Being, for instance, when I was in school, bless my mum, she didn't know, but when you're naughty, you're put in lower grades, not because you're not smart, because they don't want you to disrupt the people in the
They
top
tried
six.
to
Now,
do that to me a lot.
I was finishing work really quickly. So because of my attention span, let's say the lesson is an hour long. They've done 30 minutes or 25 minutes of doing teaching you how to do it, and now it's time to do the test. So I'll finish the test within like 10 minutes. And now I'm bored. So I'm now just restless, being a restless boy.
I
So
just used to look out the window.
I'll get up and start doing badness and naughty stuff. And I was the class clown. And the reason why I was a class clown is because we was poor. So I had to mitigate circumstances, and
With laughter.
I had to do other things to be funny. So I would diss my plimsolls in a hole with it, so you can't diss it. So if I already dissed my plimsolls, you can't cuss me about my plimsolls. If I'm telling you that I'm Blick, you can't call me Blick because I've already called myself Blick. Because back in school, we was called Blick. Now it's trendy, but in school...
There was no Twitter then, so no one can come and...
what happened now?
no one can come and...
I was in the top set of school.
Yeah.
But because I was naughty, what my mum didn't realise is that when it was time to do exams, they put me on foundation paper, which means the highest grade I could get was D in certain exams. So I'll come home, my mum would see that I've got 96%. She's like, well done, get bread. Then she's like, that is a D. How do you fucking get? Then she didn't understand. So a lot of children, I don't know whether they've...
It's a good point you make, because my mum was a teacher.
Okay, so she knew everything.
So they did that to me with French.
Okay.
We had to write a letter to the governor. To
Okay.
say, listen, I had to sign a disclaimer that if I got a D, it's not in the school.
Yeah.
I got an A in my French GCSE.
Yeah.
Right? But if my mum wasn't
Didn't
a
know,
teacher and didn't know,
Yeah.
the
most
whole year group did foundation except me.
That was the only exam I got a D, and it was my fault. I left my coursework at home.
Okay.
Because they said I got high on my coursework, but they were like, if I'd given my coursework on time, alongside I would have had a B. But I literally
Because I think a lot of it breaks down in school. And
Do you know what's
I say
really
that
funny?
a lot of
That we're having this discussion. Sometimes I'm mentoring people my age who've even done well, and I ask them about their GCSEs. They don't even remember the grades.
Yeah.
I remember. You know what's mad here? I'll tell you the funniest one. My last ever exam was RE, and I done 3/5 of the paper, and I fell asleep. And the teacher was like, the RE teacher, she was like, "No, wake up, blah blah blah. You still got." I said, "I've got at least a B," and she's like, "How?" I said, "Your subject is the easiest subject." And she was like, but this, that. I said, "What you? This is the last day of school. You're gonna kick me out." So what happened? On the day when I came back in to pick up my thingy, I opened it, looked at it, and I said, "I told you so." And she just looked at me and just laughed. I said, I called it. I got a B. And she's like, "How?" And I said, "You know what it is? It was one of those things like I said to you, with exams. I just knew how good I was at exams. But what brought me down on my grades was always coursework.
Okay.
Just can't.
Yeah, mine's the opposite.
Like
I'm
like uni,
coursework,
I found
A's and B's all the time.
I found university so hard due to the coursework
The
part of
writing,
things.
yeah.
Exams was always a blitz for me. I could just literally, that's it.
Yeah, I think the schooling...
Probably why I ended up doing maths.
Okay, because you was good at
It
it.
wasn't my best subject.
I should
It
have
wasn't my most favourite.
heard a joke.
Okay.
I should have stayed with maths because my aunt said the same thing. Because maths is one of those things. There's always an answer.
You learn the logic, you learn the system,
There's
boom.
always an answer. So
With English, language,
yeah,
hey,
yeah.
write a story.
So maths was my best subject at school, but it wasn't my favourite.
Yeah.
I didn't like maths, but I was just good at it. And also, my aunt was a maths teacher.
Okay.
So what ended up happening was I became better at maths than her by the time I got to end of school. Like, I remember like my coursework, I got perfect grades and they gave a bonus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But maths coursework wasn't. I won't class it as coursework because it was
like a big problem that takes a long time to solve.
Yeah, but like it comes down to how my brain works.
Uni made me hate maths though.
Because
it became proof.
It comes down to how your brain works.
Would you not say you're using? Would you not say you're using parts of your degree? Where like is there not parts of the back of maths?
No.
So you're saying what you
after
do
I left
now,
uni,
you never use it again.
do you know what they say?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Do you know what they say? Yeah, maybe GCSE A-level maths, but uni maths, like they say it teaches you how to think better logically, right? Because it's proofs and prove the sky's red. Okay, let's assume it's not blue. Now let me prove it's not blue. Do you know what I mean? It's proofs. Yeah. Whereas engineering is where kind of A-level maths continues into like calculations, trigonometry. I didn't do trigonometry in 3 years at uni.
And would you say you're successful with what you do at the moment? And what is success to you? What is success? Are you successful?
You know what's funny, right? For me, success is passing on legacy, getting a family, passing that on, impacting people. Success for me is not whether I got promoted in my career or how much money is in my bank account, because for me, and I understand why it is for. I understand why it is that for other people.
So basically, you're gonna. So
my success,
you're a coach in investing. I like to use the word investing.
And this is the thing that makes it very.
Are you a successful investment coach?
Yes.
And why would you say that? It's not because
I've helped people achieve their goals within investing.
Okay.
Not what I have or what I don't have.
What does that look like? So for instance, for you to be a successful coach, okay, let's say you've only got 2 clients. Okay, let's say there's only 2 people in a Telegram group. Okay.
Yeah.
Would you still say you're a successful coach in regards to investing?
100%. So if I help one person on that path to generational wealth, and I can see that they've got it, they're making good decisions, and they're achieving their own objectives, because their objective could be to achieve financial success. It might not be mine. Mine is to help you achieve financial success.
So what you're saying then is success is relative to. So you're saying that there isn't a. Obviously, there's a dictionary definition of what success is.
It's personally defined.
But I think so. For instance, rest in peace, Virgil Abloh. So he passed away last week. Okay, and
not last week.
Was it this week? What week today?
It was
Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah. So it's last week then, isn't it?
Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah, today's Tuesday, right? It's not last week.
It depends.
We'll give you that.
Okay, potatoes, potato, tomato.
Within the last 7 days. Yeah.
So one would say that Virgil Abloh was successful.
Yes.
Okay, passed on legacy.
Yeah.
Okay, so would you say as men, how would you say we discuss success? So for instance, Chizo does personal training.
Yeah.
Does events. Now, would you, Chizo, consider yourself successful?
Impossible.
Why not?
Because he wants more.
Yeah. But you know the irony of it. You know, this is the thing about success. There are people outside of. It's people who are looking at you, and don't realize. That's not something don't realize the privilege we have. Some people are looking at you and seeing you do events, seeing you do personal training, and calling you successful.
No, but you know what it is? It's down to like what you just said. Like my ceiling of what I'm trying to reach is a lot higher.
Yeah, my ceiling is like.
Yeah, I don't even think.
I'm nowhere near my ceiling.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
But you know what I learned to do? Is to take stock.
Yeah.
Right? Is to count your blessings, right? Because if my success was how much money is in my bank account, bro, money can come and go. Anything can happen. Anyone can fall into a crisis. So what? I'm not. So my success has dipped now just because my success has always been from young, like how I impact people. Okay. I've been mentoring from primary school, bro. I used to help people with their homework who couldn't do the sums. Yeah. When I got to secondary school, I used to motivate people who were on road because they'll come to me and tell me the badness they're doing. And I'll just be like, bro, you got 2 parents. Like what? I used to try and understand people, right? And sometimes they're a blessing and sometimes a curse, right?
That's the mathematical side, logic. Your mind works on more logic than emotion.
Success is the accomplishment of an aim or purpose. It says the good or bad outcome of undertaking something. So I guess to be successful is to accomplish a task which you've given yourself, which means whatever your task is. So if, for instance, if you said that your task or aim was to sell out a 2,000 capacity festival, that means you're successful in that particular thing. You might be successful as a trading coach, but not successful in the gym. But I think as men, what do you think we generally determine success by?
I think most people, I want to get rich. And once you put that as your number one and you're not there, it's not good for the mentals.
Can money buy happiness?
Money can help. I don't believe in that, money can't buy happiness. No. I think money can help, but it's not the only way to get happiness. My happiness can come from money sometimes. Listen, if I want to buy something I'll buy it and I'll be happy. Some people say that's temporary. No, it's not, because I remember that thing. But at the same time, I might just be happy with the fact that I'm alive. I might just be happy with the fact that I'm in a place of privilege in some aspects that other people aren't. I might just be happy because, family.
Because I always find it interesting when it's always people who tend to be in a position, like you find good looking people say looks don't matter. You find rich people say money doesn't matter. You always find that it's the people who are in that space that always says it doesn't matter.
Do you know
what?
what?
When someone says I'm a millionaire, I'll give this all away in a second. Please give me. Give me. Give me.
I'll take it.
Give me.
It's so
And
good.
I will never say money makes you happy. I'm not gonna. When people say money can buy happiness, I don't think it can buy happiness, but money makes you happy. I've never seen anyone upset when they're getting a paycheck or being paid for work unless it's not the amount they're meant to get. Everyone looks forward to payday, even though for some it's mouth to hand, it goes away straight away. But we're happy when we get paid. Even when you're looking on your stocks and trading. Let's say, for instance, something's gone up. You took the risk. It's gone up from 20% and you're now 2,000. You're in the blue or the black. You're happy. When it's down in the red, you're sad. But what would you say money should be used for? Same with Chiz. What do you say money should be used for? What is money? Because you're in the field of, you've studied maths. And you're in the numbers game, whether you like it or not with trading. It's all about numbers. You need 100%. To know how to put your money here. So what do you say money should be used for? Because you're saying that money shouldn't determine success. And I'm going to say,
it could be an outcome.
As men, I think when we try to be philanthropists and try to do Higgy Hagger and do Plato and Socrates, we like to act like money doesn't. No, because remember, I always tell people that I've been broke. And when I mean broke, I'm talking broken, like smashed like a glass I was broken to the point where I went to Abbey National. I gave them my bank card. The machine swallowed my card. I went into the bank, assuming someone did fraud. The woman told me, you ran your account so bad that we're not even going to give you a card. So I said, can I get a cash card? She goes, no. When you need money, you need to come into the branch and we'll let you know whether you can withdraw your money. That's how broke I've been. So when people say money doesn't buy happiness, I say I agree. You can't buy happiness because happiness is something that needs to be generated within. And I don't think happiness should be attached to other things. Meaning that if your happiness is based on something or someone, if that person does something to you, I think your happiness disintegrates. That's my own opinion. Am I always happy? No. Am I always content? No. But I'm not going to sit and pretend that money doesn't give me some form of a security, which I believe you don't have when you don't have money, and there's anxiety that comes with it. And it's that anxiety when you have money that people who don't have money know about. And that's why when people say money can't buy happiness.
I've been down and out before, right? I've signed on, right? Got myself out the hole, been back, right? But I'll tell you what, from when I was like young, struggling, on close day was the worst day.
It was call it
the worst day.
Banter day.
Bro. Do you know how 3 months in advance,
you're planning it?
I'm thinking about how I'm going to escape.
Hey, do you know what I used to do? So Christmas, my aunt would be like, this is what you can get for Christmas, blah, blah, blah. So I'll be like, no, I just want clothes. So I would literally buy like, let's say like a Nike tracksuit, Adidas tracksuit kicks. And guess what? If on clothes day comes, it usually used to come around March, April for us in our school. I used to leave them garments here from Christmas unworn. Just for that one day. For that one day to make sure that, I'm not getting caught and dragged.
I'm not even going to say what I used to do on camera. But boy, that day, the anxiety will start building up from 3 months. I'll be studying which one is going to laugh at me. Let me start patting, let me start behaving. It's mad. Let me not be in no one's bad boy.
You know what's mad? Going back to that, like, I remember like when I started college. So during the summer holidays, like 2 weeks before college started, I got my first job. So literally on my 16th birthday, I got my first job. I banged out so much hours because literally, like you said, about money. I knew that I was going to college and I didn't have bare arms. So growing up, as we're from Nigerian families, you know, our parents weren't splashing on clothes.
They were not.
So I remember, like, before college started, I'd already, like, in 2 weeks done bare hours, got money. I bought like 2 free tracksuit bottoms, Nike from Frank Johnson. So I used to go Foot Locker to buy a bare 2 for 20 tees. So jogging bottoms, 2 for 20, rotation, coat, rotation. Then I remember, like, EMA and that was coming. So if I didn't have a job then, I'd have been Jack Boy. I'd have been doing reruns. Like, I'd have been probably wearing the same garms, like a school uniform, bare days in a row.
But would you not say that you was okay? So I'm gonna say, obviously, money can't buy happiness, but I think happiness comes from doing what you love, and I think that's what I enjoy most. So, but I'm not gonna ever sit here and say there is not a security that I enjoy with having money. And when I say money, money is a tool. So I think it's resources. So remember, I might only have, let me not say only, that sounds a bit funny, but I might only have £100 in my account, but I might have resources, which is worth more. So for instance, assets, for instance, and I think there's a security which you get with money that people try to pretend doesn't exist. And that security makes you happy.
You know what, it goes back to a thing he said about anxiety as well. Like, now just thinking about it, where you just mentioned £100, and I've heard some people say, like, stuff like, let's say, like, if it comes to, like, payday, for instance, and they paid everything out, and let's say they've got like £1,000 left, they're happy. Yeah. While I've seen the next man who, like, they might pay bare things and they've got 10 grand left, they're stressed. Yeah. So for everyone, it's
money's relative.
Yeah, it's relative.
I just don't like the idea when people,
even though it's broke, it's relative.
I get what you're saying.
Money can't buy you health, and that's one thing we've learned. And once again, rest in peace to Virgil Abloh. Like, and people always used to use that example. You see, because I saw once someone tweeted something. As you can see, with all the success, you have to always remember that money. I'm just like, first of all, don't use this scenario now. This guy's passed away. Yeah. I don't know why people are talking about all of that. Let his family, heal. Let them heal. And don't come with all that nonsense. But I always say that when people act like money, they don't want money, or don't like it, money doesn't matter, mate. That security that you get from having money, as much as it can go, let me know it can go, but let me have it, please. No. I'd rather cry in my Ferrari. Well, because I've been shattered to the point now that, yes, happiness to me is doing what I love. And I will say that in the fields that I'm in now, the 3 or 4 different things I do, I love it. And that makes me happy. And as you said, my happiness comes from seeing people enjoying the experiences they have. So with the restaurant I've got, when I see people coming in there and enjoying themselves, that makes me happy. Obviously, when they're buying LP Rosé, I'm happier. Like, I'm very excited.
Hey, you notice the plug-in? He said when they buy the LP Rosé, so when you go to Sion, you better buy LP Rosé.
Like, when they're doing LP Rosé, like, for instance, I had a good week.
That's what I had the finger.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Your wrist on Saturday. You should have seen his happiness.
I know what you're talking about.
This guy was wearing t-shirt in the club. I was like,
Was you not wearing t-shirt too? Under your jeans jacket?
Yeah, but I had a jeans jacket on.
Yeah,
but had a t-shirt, and I was like, right. Then I saw your wrist had changed.
I know what you're on about.
His hand was smiling.
One thing I would always say though is that I don't believe in luck. And I believe what I believe in is being ready when the opportunity presents itself. A lot of us are doing hard work and we don't see the hours people have put in. So for instance, we always look at things and think they're overnight successes. Look at someone like Stormzy. Someone say, he just blew up. No, Stormzy was rapping from a good 10, 11 years ago. It wasn't some new thing. He's been rapping from when he was 12, 13. Even like when you look at someone like Rapman, people don't realize that he was in dubplate drama. Rapman. He was acting from way back, dubplate drama. So when people see him now and think, he just blew up. No. He's been in the acting and film industry from years ago, and people don't realize the graft and work you've got to put in. So when someone is in a position like yourself, for instance, who is now let me use the right word, investment coach.
Coach.
Investment coach. Somebody might look and be like, right, he's in a Telegram group with 6,000 people, he's lucky. No, I've gone and studied.
Even, you see like how he's talking about Rapman and all that, and where we're talking about before about environment. You know what's crazy? Like, for instance, now fast forward, when everyone sees, everyone knows, everyone who's doing quite well in their field, everyone knows each other. But it comes down to, let's say one person came out of the environment and blew. Indirectly, don't you feel like sometimes you kind of rub off your friends and you bring them off different aspects?
And I think it's important to give people their flowers. So for instance, just the other day, you got to think of the people around us. And I don't celebrate people being mediocre. So I like to celebrate people who I look and feel like, right, like if he wasn't my brethren, look at Mo the comedian. Do you know people don't realize who that brother is now?
Yeah.
But he's a legend. Like we don't give people their flowers because maybe we know them or from the community. We don't respect what they're doing. See what he's doing, bro.
Look how many it's not even weeks he's been at Hammersmith.
Listen, he was in Bournemouth the other day. Do you know what Bournemouth is? When I saw the venue on all the, I said there must be about 1,000 people in. He's doing a comedy show in Bournemouth, and there's like 600-700 people there to watch him. Look at Daps. Look at Flex God Daps. This brother's doing videos, videography, directing for. He did a Google ad the other day.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that, like, I've never been a hater. So that's why I love celebrating people. And the people who you're around, they bring you up. Like, even looking at...
They motivate you indirectly.
Just looking at Ratman's journey, and I look at where he's come from. And even when he's in the group, and sometimes he'll be posting things about the things that are going on in his life, I get inspired by that. I'm like, a brother from the ends, a brother that man knows is doing this kind of a madness, and it's your network.
You know what's mad when you even say like raps? I remember like even years ago, before that, like one time having like one random convo with him, and I just think to myself, one moment could have just literally taken him that way.
Yep, but it didn't.
Fully.
Yep.
Bro.
And I'm just thinking to myself,
Ghetto, growing up there.
Even look at free shots.
Yeah.
Like as much as there are mates, Marv's a and I always make a point. I hate that guy. Like, he's a. But look at that, Royal Albert Hall. Yeah. Like it's not mediocre stuff. Like, and there's people around you. And I always say all the inspiration you need is around you.
Yeah.
Like literally, and I always like to do things in stages. Like I've got 2 mentors, and I've got one mentor who's basically at a position that I would like to be in now. So basically, and I've got another mentor who's way above me. But I always like to do things relative. Take a step, because someone who's a billionaire, as much as I would want to aspire to be there, but there's stages. So I get a mentor who's a millionaire because I know that this is closer to my reach right now. So I can relate. Then the next step, and I say get mentors. And even what you do, you're a mentor. When you say millionaire,
do you mean like millionaire in your field or the things you're doing?
Okay, the things I'm doing. So the things that I'm trying to aspire to, he's a clear millionaire. Yeah. So the guy that I showed you the trading account for, you can see he's got 1.5 million in his trading account. That's his just trading account. Like, that's who I'm speaking to. And the reason why I have mentors, and I think everyone should do, is because one, be accountable. In this life, people don't like accountability. And see me, I procrastinate a lot.
That's our job as coaches.
That's why I need someone who's a mentor, because when I've got a deadline to do something and I've told him, he will ring me and be like, yo, it's Friday. You know, Saturday, that's your deadline to do. I'm like, no. You need to get like, I know my flaws and I procrastinate a lot. The amount of times I'm meant to do something and I don't do it, and I'm sitting on doing nothing.
Yeah, I've been there still.
You know what, yeah,
it's bad.
But when I'm procrastinating sometimes,
funny enough, you said that, yeah. How I clocked here from when I first met you, how I clocked here with procrastinate is like one time when I've come to your house and I just remember I always say stuff about like little things like tidying up and all that. I was like, I swear this brother said that he's gonna do so and so today, and he looking around and thinking he ain't done it. I was like, I could tell he's one of these man. He's gonna push it back. Push it back.
Me, I procrastinate so bad,
that it's a.
I now have to get somebody who's accountable. I'm accountable to, so that anything that I'm slacking in, I'm with that person. So they holler me and say, yo, it's week 2. Have you done this? Even to the point now that I've got like some chart now that I've got in my bedroom, which has got everything I do now week by week. So I look at there visually and say, okay, Gabriel, you've got to do that. And the maddest thing is that sometimes we have to train our mind, because discipline and habit is everything. And I've learned, so I'm getting there, I'm almost there, where sometimes something can only take 5 minutes to do, but we just put it aside.
Yeah, I'm there.
Sometimes it's...
do you know who's got great discipline?
Who?
Ed.
Okay.
Yeah, if Ed has something to do, he's not gonna... He's gonna... Like, even when it comes to, like, even a simple thing like gym, where certain times I'll be like, I'm not in the mood to train. But I know he would stay on. He would be like, we need to go this time. That's him.
And those are the two things that I think make people successful in this world, is discipline and habit. Your habit, what you start, your habit is what makes your life. Like you see your routine. And that's one thing I've tried to get into now, as a routine. Even if you're self-employed, you still need structure. And that's one thing I've struggled with, is just having a routine and being disciplined. And I always mention it that any man who is not disciplined is not someone you need to be around, because see, discipline, it goes throughout your whole life in whatever you do, even with the trading.
You know what I find?
He's gone.
when I'm serious, when I'm investing, when I'm trading, the discipline's there. But if it's like something else, it's like a complete other side.
You know what it is? Because you enjoy that.
Because it's more than just enjoyment. It's because I feel like that's a serious thing.
But do you not get a dopamine release while you're trading? Don't you get that excitement and that buzz when you're trading?
Yeah, it's like football for me.
So isn't it almost like psychologically you're excited to go and do that because it releases something and you feel, I think, who was it? Ola was talking about it, that when he goes to comedy shows, there are some comedians who will stay right to the end. Because in that space, they're at home, they're the king of that castle. So it might be that in the trading, you're the king of that castle, so you enjoy staying in that environment. Whereas I'm not saying that happens when you come out of it, but for instance, with myself, I procrastinate a lot because I couldn't even answer it. I'm trying to think of why I procrastinate a lot.
It's normal human behavior though.
No, but it's bad. No, but it's bad.
Because most people, when they have a bad habit, they're very quick to do the whole accept me for who I am. This is me.
Be accountable.
I'll give you an example, like even like you see how you said about procrastinating. There's certain people like, and even going back to the anxiety thing, there's certain people like when it comes to things like with money, the moment they're not making, they dig themselves into a hole so deep that they haven't got that motivation to go find a new job or something and start procrastinating and pushing back that tomorrow if this happens and I make this little bit from, let's say for instance like there are PTs, if I make this little bit from training, then I could go do this and do that. Where over the past few years, I've learned from, funny enough, one of my clients like years ago. I walked into a house, I've seen a whiteboard, and she just always writes on sticks, post-it notes and that.
Always the women.
Yeah, so when I've looked at that, I was like, what the hell? So I've literally glimpsed it quickly, and I realized that anytime I go through that moment where my mind just goes blank, I get my board from behind the thing and start writing, and I'm like, right, if I do this, do that, I'll get back on point. So like even the other day when I was saying to you that training people like with the weather dipping and Christmas coming, things slows down. I said to you, I'm gonna go put the Uber badges back on my car. These times there's another man that I know that I was telling you about time ago, and how every time he phones me, he's always complaining about things to do with, you know what I mean? Every time he talks to me, he's always money issues. So I said to him a year ago, I was like, just get a little run around, do a little job like Uber Eats, get back your money, then you have cash flow to be able to work on what you need. So the difference between someone like me now and those people is where me and Gabe have gone back to a few episodes ago where he's talked about during the lockdown, he's picked up the van job to pick back up things, where now the other day I said to him, things are slowing down because of the weather and everything, and I said to Wes that I want to put more into this and put more content out. So instantly I've gone back, banged the Uber badge, like phoned them, banged the Uber badge on my car, started back on that, because I'm like, right, my target now is to have this kind of content and more different style content we spoke about. So for me to be able to fund that, I need to put in more work, because if not, if I'm chilling and waiting like these next men saying, next year when it picks up, everything is procrastinating, pushing back. When this picks up, when that picks up, I'm like, if you don't do something about it and be active right now, next year is going to become 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. You're never ready for in case something goes wrong. But now that I've put that back on, I've backed up myself that I know now, if I say to myself, I'll do 36 hours this week in this, that's going to bring this amount of money. So if YouTube ain't paying,
your head, your
PT ain't paying, the events ain't paying.
Which goes back to your trading, where you may say, your three top ones, maybe put one here,
that's
one there, one there, just in case that doesn't go up, this might go up.
Life is risk management at the end of the day.
This is my 20%.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So it goes back to how people use things differently, whereas the other people who, due to not having that money now, they've got that anxiety, and I'm like, you just literally need to get into a zone where you say to yourself, if I ride this up for like 2-3 months, I get this little pool of money, use that pool of money into this thing, ride that up for another 3 months, then 6 months now, you're back in, you've come out of the red, you're back in the green, and now,
but the funniest thing though is a lot of issues we have though with money though is one is pride, meaning people don't want to
Ask the next man.
they don't want to ask the next man for help
Yeah.
to get into something. First of all, it's pride, and I think the biggest thing is they call it FOMO, the fear of missing out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That will leave you broke.